My Hebrew brothers and sisters, the 12 tribes of Israel scattered out over the earth. This is your Moreh Yeshua Ben Uriah Israel, and we just want to say thank you again for the opportunity in sharing with you, and so we just want you to know that we appreciate your subscriptions. We appreciate your likes and your comments, and also your prayers. And as you know, we are in Psalm 12, and we stopped in the last session at verse 6, and so we want to start verse 7. Okay, listen to what verse 7 said. It reads, "Thou shalt keep them, O Yahuwah, thou shalt preserve them from this generation forever. Thou shalt preserve them from this generation forever." Okay, we know that we are living in a world that is plagued with all kind of issues. The evil ones have tried over and over and over and over and over. They oppress the poor and needy. They oppress us. My brothers and sisters, you would be surprised to know that, like when I do research and I see where, the Hebrew Israelite people, where they live, countries that they've been, they call them all kind of names. In Ethiopia, they call them Palashas. I mean, they're strangers. And what they're trying to say, they you don't belong here. They're not welcome there. Because, to them, land is precious. And they come to steal the land. And if they come to live among them, they have to share. And in general, the Kemetic people do not like to share. I'm sorry to say it if you feel bad, I'm sorry about that. But the Kemetic, in general, I'm saying in general, not in our cases, but in general, the Kemetic people do not like to share. And when you come to think about it, some of us Hebrew Israelites don't like to share either. Don't like to share. We don't like to share, and so in general we don't like to share. In general, okay. But you know what though? We don't like to share among ourselves. But as soon as the Gentile person come in, you could take anything you want. That's the attitude. That's what how we operate. We so we make the Gentiles richer and richer and richer and richer. Oh, praise be to His name, my brothers and sisters. There are some Hebrew Israelite people that have slaves here in the West too. And my understanding is that some of those who were fortunate to own slaves, after they bought themselves freedom and so on, some of them treat the slaves just as bad and worse than the European slave masters. There's a lady, I've never met her because she passed away way back, but she's living in Jacksonville area, and she's African, okay, and from West Africa, and she had married to a merchant by the name of Kingsley, and they own thousands. As a matter of fact, I would say almost half of Jacksonville, Florida. In the past, in the Duval County, almost half of that belonged to them. They were, it was filthy rich, if you want to understand the term. Okay. But anyway, I understand that she ran the plantation most because he was always traveling. He goes back and forth to Cuba, and he was a merchant man, and so he carried goods probably from his plantation and all the stuff that he accumulated from other plantations that he took over sugar, all kind of thing. He took tobacco, rum, wine, everything like that. But anyway, he passed away, and so everything was left to Mrs. Kingsley. And my understanding that, people came in, the European came in on her and tried to take the property, take everything away. And so she had to run away. She understand that she went to Haiti. And then she got a chance to come back. She and some of her children, and other children have stayed in Haiti for a long period of time. I don't know if they still did it. But they were biracial because the father was European, Anglo. Okay, but she divided up the land and gave to all of the slaves. So all over Jacksonville. Matter of fact, we had bought a house that was built on a land that was given to former slave, that was taken away from them because of unpaid tax. The city of Jacksonville accumulated. I mean, if you know about Jacksonville and you know about Arlington and Fort Caroline, and you heard about the Fort Caroline Monument and all those lands, and some of the area where the rich people live, like in Mandarin, and heading towards St. Augustine, a lot of places over in that area, Switzerland and all those places, in Duval County and a part of St. Johns County. All of that land was owned, part of Orange Park, which is in the Orange County. A part of that land was, I can tell you, my brother and sister, I've been to different places where, the famous Regency Square in Jacksonville, Florida, was built on land that was given from Mrs. Kingsley to the slaves, the free slave and so on. But anyway, she's an exception of, giving back, and so on. But here in the verse, here in verse 7, Yahweh said, he will keep, he said, thou shalt keep them. And David is saying here to Yahuwah, thou shalt keep them, O Yahuwah. And thou shalt preserve them from this generation. The kind of generation we're living in now, my brothers and sisters. More and more, you're hearing and you're reading about this generation that we're living in. Okay? People, there's a generation of wickedness. Okay? You see, they took our heritage and give it to others. The European took our heritage and give it to their children and their descendants and other people who claim to be the people of the book that we have no relationship with. We have no relation. They have no relations to Abraham. Okay? So my brothers and sisters, but hear what he said. Yahweh said he will keep. And David is saying that Yahweh shall keep them. Shall keep them. And so the word here is shamar. Shamar. Shin, Mem, and Resh. And the word here means to beware, be circumspect, mark, look, narrowly, observe, preserve. We're talking about keep here. Regard, reserve, sure, properly, to hedge about, as with a thorn. You know, like if you have some important plant, and you don't want insect or animals to get around it or get involved and to destroy it. You hedge it around, right? And you don't want human being to get in there. You hedge it around. You fence it, if you want to use the word. Okay? And but if you say you hedge it around with thorn, that means it is harder because thorn will stick you and cut you. Okay? And you have some wires, that if you notice, I'm going to use this illustration, but it's kind of a, weird illustration. Say a person, you're passing by a prison or a jail, and they'll have tall fence, right? Wall fence sometimes, iron fence. On top of that, they will have a kind of wire that is rolled, is rolled like it's enrolled, right? It's enrolled, and they have it on top along the way. And those are some sharp looking wires. If they cut you, they cut you. It's not going to stick you, it's going to cut like a razor cut, right? And so you're going to hedge about. You're going to guard it. It is the same, like, I'll give an illustration, like in Proverbs it says, guard your heart. Guard it. So we guard, and this kind of guarding, my brother, Yahweh going to keep us. You see, his angels, his ministering angels, they're going to keep us, they're going to watch over us, my brothers and my sisters. Those are the ones that is summoned to go and fight for us. Hasatan is always ready to come at us, and he come at us through this generation, people, to destroy us. But here he said, Shamar, and the word here, the base or the root word is the same, Shamar, and the part of speech is a verb, and the usage is beware, be circumspect, to take heed, or to take heed to self, or to keep, as a keeper, or as a self. He mark us, and he look narrowly, and he observe, and he preserve, and he regard, and my brothers and my sisters, and he save us, and anything that comes to hurt us. He is the watchman for us, my brothers and my sisters. He keeps us. The definition properly is to hedge about, like I said before, as a thorn, and to guard, and generally to protect or to attend to. And the detailed definition is to keep or to guard, or to have charge of, to keep, to guard, to keep, to watch on word, watch on word, to protect us and to save our lives, my brother. He watches, the watchman for us. Praise his holy name. Praise his holy name. And not only that, he said, he want to keep us, but my brothers and sisters, notice what he said here in the same verse 7. Notice what he said. He is going to preserve. Not only that, he's going to keep, but he's going to preserve. He's going to preserve. And when he preserve something, they give the idea of, hiding something hidden, besieged. And it's like a monument, okay, is set up, and they preserve it. And then not only that, it's observed and subtle to guard in a good sense, to protect or to maintain, and so on. Or sometimes, my brothers and my sisters, the word here is nashar, nashar, nasar, nasar, because it is uh, uh, nun nasar. It is nun, aleph, and resh. And no, nun, sadi, and resh rather. Nun, sadi, and resh. And the word here is basically the same in the root. The root word is the same, or the base word is the same. And the part of speech is the verb. But when we talk about the besieged thing or hidden or the monument or the observant, is that the usage is basically the same. As a keeper or someone keeping, observing or preserving or subtle is a watcher or watchman, and by definition is to guard or to keep in good sense, to protect or to maintain, obey, or conceal. So this is the word, bear, preserve. And we have a detailed definition, which is a little extra look, to see what's behind this word preserve. And, it comes up to be the same to guard or to watch over, or to keep. And we talk about the word stems, the call is, to watch or guard or keep, or preserve or to guard from danger, to keep or to observe, or to guard with fidelity, or to guard, or to, it's like keeping a secret, okay? To be kept close. Sometimes they use the word blockade, to be blockade, a watchman, derived from a primitive root. Okay, look at the word generation here. Generation is the Hebrew word door, okay, and is dalet, vav, and resh, door, and the word here is basically posterity, properly a revolution of time. The generation, that is an age or generation. And the base, the root word is the same as door. And part of speech is in the masculine gender. And the age usage, you talk about this age, generation, okay? Evermore generation, ever posterity, and the definition is properly, like, use the word as a revolution of time, and age or generation also dwelling, okay? The detailed definition of the word here is the word generation, habitation, dwelling, period, age, period of time, the generation, those living during a period, and so on. Okay? All right? So, my brothers and sisters, we come to another time we have to stop. Okay, I want to keep my words, so we just want to ask you to continue to be a blessing to someone and walk with the King. Shalom.